Well, hello, good morning and welcome back. I'm Claire, this is Purple Poppy, and this is Sunday stitching. Oh my goodness, I can't believe it's Sunday again already. Right, well we've had our second prompt, which is lace. I still haven't got round to edging that. I'm desperately trying to find some baker's twine or something, because I feel that this, although it's a pretty good size, I don't really want to use twine, so I need to order some baker's twine, but that's another day. Right, let's move my coffee before it goes on the floor. Let's work out what we're going to do for this prompt. Now the prompt is lace, and whilst I've got quite a lot of lace, it was pretty obvious to me straight away that there were two laces that were going in here. This one is obviously broad anglaise or eyelet lace, whatever you want to call it, and this is off my, well, is my youngest granddaughter's dress, so that's very precious, so that will definitely be going in. And this is the collar off of my eldest granddaughter's clothing. I think it was a jumper, I don't really remember, so we'll be using that as well. So there's my two laces. That was a really easy decision for me. Now I've got to work out what, shake all the little bits out, what fabric I'm going to use. I've got all these bits and pieces in here. This I think is going to be a bit dense. Let's bring these back. Yeah, don't want that. So definitely not that one. I'm wondering, now I did do all of this stenciling. I'm wondering if I might use a piece of one of those. I've also got some old pieces that I did, oh, years and years ago. I could maybe use one of them. But I do love this. This fabric, although it's very modern, I just love it. So probably that one, because I know me, I'm going to be desperate to use that. What else have I got on my mood board? So I never stitched this, I just pinned all this down. We've got this beautiful velvet, and we got this lovely gingham. Now actually I'm going to use the gingham, and the reason I'm going to use the gingham is because both my daughters, their school uniform was those little red gingham dresses. I'm sure you all know what I mean. School uniform for the summer, these little red gingham dresses. So that is what we're using 100%. There you go. And that's real memories then, isn't it? Although that is not necessarily the fabric that came out of their dresses. This feels like vintage fabric. And I was thinking that because I'd done this top corner, I wanted to go into this bottom corner. But I'm just wondering now if that's going to be too small to get a piece of both laces in. So first things first, let's work out exactly how big we need this to be. So I'm just going to slide the fabric in like that. I think this is I could measure, but of course that's just too easy, isn't it? So we want to cut down that line there. So let's try not to cut my hand again this week. So that's my cut line. There, it's a bit for later. So that should now fit in there, which I believe it does. Yes, I have to turn this box around, sorry. You'll have to go that way. There we go. So that's going to fit in there like that. And then we're going to the inside of that line there. This fabric, by the way, this was in a slow stitch kit set that I got from Rainbow Woods. If I remember, I'll leave a connection. So there you go. There's our little red square that's going to go in there. And now we need to work out how we're going to put this lace in. Let's bring it there. I think you can see it there. Let me check. Can you see it there? Definitely. Right. Now, this beautiful lace, we put a little snip in this. This is obviously going to be much too big. We're going to have to find a way to trim this down. We're not going to want any more than that, are we? So we use the big boys and cut up there. Put that over the back, and I don't think we're going to want any more than that one embroidered little piece there. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to get the small scissors and I'm just going to try and fussy cut round this eyelet pattern. Fortunately, this is commercially done, so the chances of it coming unthreaded are a little bit less than if it had been hand done. Well, that's how I feel anyway. So I don't quite know how I'm going to stitch this. Now, of course, most people will be using very delicate, let's get rid of the box, we don't really need the box there, do we? Oh, there we go. Very delicate lace, and they're just going to want the lace to do the work. Whereas, of course, my lace is not quite so delicate. I feel like it potentially needs some stitching on it. So I'm going to try and think what we'll do. Okay, there's lovely bit of fabric there we can use. Let's turn this over so it lies a bit flatter. I think we'll have a little bit of the pink fabric, and then maybe this is amazingly big, isn't it, for that little square. Perhaps I should have chosen a bigger one. So I think maybe that will go there, and then does that go underneath it or not? No, I don't like it underneath. Right, this is going to sit on the edge and up a bit. That is a given. Oh, let's meet them, because there's a little dink in the stitching there, so we could meet that there like that. So go further up, can find that, look, there's a little indent in that pattern, and then we've got the red on the back. That seems to work for me. Why have I got no pins? Doesn't matter where I go lately, I have no pins. They're all pinning stuff, which is crazy. Ah, I've got 3 in this reel of cotton, look. That's because I was stitching in the armchair early this morning. Right, so that's going to sit on the edge there like that. This one is going to marry up to that crevice, and because they're cousins and they're my daughter's children, there is a connection, so there should be connection, so that feels good to me. I know this is crooked, but it's crooked because of the shape of that, so I haven't really got a lot of choice. So I'm going to start by doing an invisible stitch and just tacking them on there to hold them in place, and then I will have a little think about it's already cotton in this needle, Claire, use this needle. I'll think about doing some fancy stitch, and whether I want to use the gold or the grey. Now we used gold last fortnight, so I think it's going to make sense. I probably should have brought you closer, shouldn't I? Never mind. It's probably going to make sense to use the grey, I think. Right, pull that nice and flat because we don't want that puckering. And we just put a little stitch back down there. Then we're going to go all the way over there. What's happened here? Got myself in a right alternate because that's got caught on that pin, that's why. Right, so let's try that again. There we go. So that is now stationary. I can put that through there. And we'll do another one there. And obviously the invisible stitch is just doing a tiny one on the top and a big one on the back. We used to call it tacking stitch back in the day. I sound like a right grandma, don't I? Well, I am a grandma. So perhaps it's appropriate. Anyway, I'm getting myself in a bit of a pickle here. Can you tell? Can you tell? Right. I'll put that pin back in down there. Okay. So yeah, tiny stitch at the front, big stitch at the back. Okay, and come all the way round. I know this looks very fiddly, doesn't it? I do apologise. There. So that is now on there. So we'll just go to the back. Actually, how can you do that? How can you go back down the same hole? I reckon I've done it twice. How is that even possible? I'd have thought if you were a gambling person or a betting man, as they say, you would bet the odds on that as almost impossible, and yet I've just done it twice. Wow. Is that lucky? Should I rush out and buy a lottery ticket? What do you reckon? Right, pop that through there. Tie that off and snip. Right, so this is now attached. These two pieces are now attached on there like that. So what I need to do now is trim it, I think. I'm going to, don't know why I took that pin out, left that pin in. Feel like the bumbling crafter today. Mind you, nothing new there, is there really? Right, so we're going to go across there. We're going to go up there. Across there. Across there. And oh, then down there, and that now gives us, put that needle away before it gets lost, that now gives us a little square. Oh, it's cute, isn't it? It's super cute. I just feel like it's such great embroidery there and there. I'm technically now going to ruin it by putting stitching on it, but you know what they say, you're going to do it, you got to do it. So first thing I need to do is find an embroidery needle. Definitely I'm going to go for the grey. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to do the, I never know if it's leaf or fly stitch, because I think I could start here and I could meander all the way across and then maybe back up, just to like make them really joined, because there is this connection between, you know, it being cousins and sisters and the school uniform. I just think it's a lovely mix, and it just feels right. So yeah, it's amazing, you know, once you start going through your fabrics and you have a little think what you can find that, you know, evokes memories. And I think somewhere, I don't know if I've still got it now I'm saying it, I had a cycling proficiency badge that I got from school years ago. I used to get such things, and might be quite nice to put that on there as well, mightn't it? Right, so I'm sure you all know how to do this, but I came through on the same line, I did another stitch, and then I came down about the same length and made sure my thread was underneath. And now I'm going to take this on the same line to the left, turn and come down on a diagonal. Okay, make sure your thread's underneath and pull. And then what you get, as I say, I don't know if it's fly stitch or leaf stitch, but, or even I heard someone the other day refer to it as a Y stitch, but that's what I'm doing. Okay, and then I'm going on that same line over again. Yeah, we'll go there on the diagonal down underneath with a thread underneath the needle, and just bring that up and connect it. So now you see I've got the central one, one to the left, one to the right. I'm now going to go to the right again. I'm sure there is, you know, a design where you're supposed to go, as it were, one to the left, one to the right, or whatever. For me, I tend to mess around with it. I like it to be slightly different. And then now that I've got it, as it were, established, oops, oh, hang on, catch that thread. Now that I've got it established, I want to start meandering over here. So I'm going to come over to there, and from now I'm only going to work to the right. I won't do any to the left. Okay, it's got caught on that pin. Okay, so keeping on that line, so just inside there, come through again like this. Now I need to pin this where that fits in that crevice, because we don't want to lose that natural, well, it's not natural, is it? It's planned connection point. Not quite. I think I'll have to pin them both. So we'll pin that one like that, and then we'll pin that one like that, and that should make sure that they stay together. And we'll hope it doesn't interfere too much with our stitching. Okay, over there and through. So I think you all know by now that I've been joining in with this great big little stitchery swap, I think is what it's called. I'm going to finish that one there, like that. So I'm just going straight through now without making another Y. I'm just giving it a tail, okay? And I'm just going to finish it off on the back by doing a little loop. And then a knot. And what I'm going to do now, sorry, I know I'm swapping subjects, is I'm going to do one here, and I'm going to weave it down to join this one, and then I'll try and get one in the middle that joins them all up. That's my plan. So yeah, and this morning I've received my second square. It's quite exciting. Shall I show you? I'll show you. So this was my very first square. How beautiful is that? And this is fabric that my lovely swap partner has dyed herself. It's awesome, isn't it? So that was my very first one. And if you haven't joined yet, I don't know, there's possibly still time to join. And this is my second one. And this one, I'm just astounded. Look at the size of these little tiny, tiny stitches. Beautiful bird. That's just gorgeous. A little C for Claire. So yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's too late, but I mean, there are people still asking for swap partners. So it's being hosted by Annie Claxton from the Arty Farty group over on Facebook. If you want to join in, you can pop over there and have a look, see what it's all about. Right, now I'm going to try and cover up that original stitch and do another one there, and then come into the middle of them both. You see, that's what I did. And then pull the needle through this giant loop. I'm sure you've done this. I'm sure you're better at it than I am. And then I'm doing one to the right, down on the diagonal. I mean, this is probably not even the right way to do it. It's just how I do it. So, you know me, I like to go my own merry sweet way. And then this one, I'm going to the left, down into the middle. And now obviously I'm going to keep travelling left on this one, because I want want to meet over there. It's not quite in the middle, but I want to meet over there. Now this is looking a bit too angular for me, so I'm going to stick a sneaky right one in there, and I'm just going to judge it really as I go. I keep on to my girls, you must be sorting out wardrobes again by now. Don't forget, I need those fabrics, especially pretty ones. Put that one up there, down there. And then on there. So it's a little bit repetitive, and I'm sorry I've got no stories for you. Just been doing what I do, basically. Now we need to get over here, and we've got quite a long way to travel, not a lot of depth to do it in. So this is another reason why I'm definitely going to need a third or maybe a fourth in the middle. So, oh, that's really stiff. Yeah, I've just been doing my, doing what I do, doing my thing. Having said that, the slow stitch quilt is coming on nicely. I'll show you properly next week, because that's next week's project, isn't it? Now you see I've twisted that one there. I don't want it twisted, so I'm going to pull my thread out, get it round the right way, and then come, that's it, and then come back forward. Right, now as I suspected, because I started right over there, we've not made it to the middle, look. So we're definitely going to need 2 more through the middle, so that's fine. I'm quite happy to do that, it's not a problem. I'm sorry about the noise that's coming in from outside. It's warm here again today, and of course the children are now on summer holiday, so now of course that means over the next few weeks I will have stories to share, because we are going to have a couple of outings with the grandchildren during the holidays while parents are at work. Makes it a little bit less boring for the children, and also takes a little bit of pressure off the parents, doesn't it, while they're working. So I'm going to start there, and I'm starting much lower. I'm hoping that I'm sort of creating a bit of a sort of branchiness, if you like, that's all meeting in the middle, entwined leaves, you know what I mean. They're not leaves, are they? But you know what I mean. You know how sometimes you go out in the garden and you think you'll trim a bush, and before you know where you are, it's all connected, and you have to trim sort of 2 or 3 bushes, and then it's all suddenly stark bare. You only wanted to trim a little tiny bit. I'm going to go one more this way. And then we'll feed back over this way. Pull off that red, we don't need that, do we? Okay, and then over there, down there, I'm going to bring one more over here, then over there, down there, and look at that, I can now just sweep over on the diagonal and pick up that point there. So that's connected those two. So now this one I'll try and connect to that one. Yeah, that's the plan. We'll see if it works. I think I'm going to need a new bit of thread. I'd rather save this piece to sew on a button or something than start stitching with it and run out of thread. And I've cut it long so that I can bring it up behind like that. Okay. Right. So we'll pull that thread out. We'll get a nice new long bit. I like long thread. I like to see. And I know a lot of people would say I'm wasteful doing it that way. But I can and I'm gonna. So what are you all up to? I did go into the Roxy's Facebook group, almost by accident actually this morning, because I was following some of the monogram photos. And lots of people are saying how they're struggling with this one for various reasons. I've got to be honest and say, I feel so far, I can't say that, you know, I'll carry on feeling like that, that this is actually easier than down the garden path. Now it's really interesting because obviously we all think differently, so you know, and we all behave differently with regard to sort of planning and structure. So I am finding it interesting reading those. Right, I can take them out now, I think. Yeah, reading those comments this morning. Oh, talking of comments, I've been watching a number of videos. I'm always watching YouTube videos. I watch them, well, almost 24/7 really, because I watch them first thing in the morning when I'm the only one that's up. Watch them while I'm crafting. I watch, you know, nearly all the time. And I can't go all the way over there. Oh look, we could interlope there. That will be interesting. There's another connection point like that, and there. I'd like to ask you all, and I'll tell you why in a minute, how many of you, when you watch a YouTube video, oh look, we're just there already. So if we go there, and then back down there, that gives us that last one, and we'll do it like we do a daisy. We'll just anchor it there, daisy stitch, just anchor that there, like that. So I feel like now I need to bring another one there and another one there. There's no stopping her now. Right, sorry, when you watch a YouTube video, you know in the description it nearly always says more. It will say something like fly stitch on gingham for stitch project, let's say, and then because it only allows you so many characters, it will say more. How many of you actually click that more button and read what it says? I'm really interested to know, because I'm a very nosy person and I always click it. Sometimes there's information that you really wanted to know. Sometimes it's only an odd word. It just depends. But one of the things, part of the reason I'm asking is, one of the things that I've noticed recently is there's an awful lot of people, and this happened particularly the other day on Rachel's channel. Wendy's channel. I'm thinking of Rachel because I'm stitching Roxy's creation. Wendy's Journal of Adventures. This bottom's starting to fray now. The only reason I'm not worried about it is because, yeah, see, I like that one, is because obviously it's going to be glued down. If it was going to be a book or something and it wasn't going to be glued down, I'd have to be thinking about how I could stop that fraying before I sewed it into my book. Yeah, Wendy's Journal Adventures. See, I'm still putting an of in there because of the stitchery. And she was doing a flip through of journals that she had updated her Etsy shop with. Beautiful journals. And I clicked the more button, discovered her Etsy shop, popped over and had a look at them in the shop. I was very lucky because the video had only been live about 5 minutes, whereas I know there were a lot of people that by the time they saw the video they were all sold out in the shop. I didn't actually buy one, but that is not really the point. The point that I'm trying to work out is, some lady had commented, I don't know her name and it's not really relevant, something along the lines of it would be nice if the shop address were listed so we could go and look at them, or something along those lines. Now, I know, A, because I looked, and B, because Wendy did answer the comment, that the address was in the description box, but you did have to click the more button to access it. So it really got me to thinking, how many people actually read those more comments? Because that lady certainly didn't, did she? Okay, so you remember what we did last time? We're going to put some fabric glue or PVA. Oh, I need a paintbrush. Oh, what have I done with my paintbrush? Oh, my big one that I really like is not here. Why is my big paintbrush not here? I was painting with it yesterday, which means it's probably still in the kitchen. Oh well, we're going to have to use this one. And whoops, maybe this one. Okay. So yeah, I'm just curious, how did you actually click that more and read what is, you know, the drop down bit? Okay, there's my PVA. It's all in there. And what I did last time was I just lifted the excess off with a clean dry brush. There we go. And then I'm just going to slide that in, make sure all those threads. I've got to be careful because I've got a cup of coffee over there now, haven't I? Make sure all those threads are up behind. Slide it over and press it down. Sorry, I know I'm... And now is square 2. So, in our tray, make sure you can see the whole tray, yes you can. In our tray, we've got our title, Stitching Memories. We've got prompt 1, the monogram, and we've now got prompt 2, the lace, with my granddaughter's clothing. As always, a huge thank you for spending your time with me today. Stay safe. I'll see you very soon. Bye bye for now.